Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of the Ripple Effect Podcast. My name is Daniel. We're so glad that you're listening to this, or maybe you're watching this, and we're so glad that you are here with us. We missed you last week, had a busy week and stuff going on, and so we didn't put out an episode, but we are back in action right now. On my right in the studio, I have Miss Rachel with us here today. Rachel, how you doing?
I'm tired, but I'm good.
Yeah.
Yep.
I physically don't feel terrible, but I have this cough and my voice has dropped a couple of octaves down. I think people are just sick, and I must have picked it up from somewhere.
I'm sure it wasn't the children.
I can't even imagine. I forgot we had the overnighter.
Yeah.
I forgot that there was a bunch of kids in here. I did. That was fun. So we are going to share with you a introduction into an episode that we recorded a little while ago. Last week? Was it last week?
We would have recorded it on Wednesday.
Okay. So we did an episode with some students because you guys went on a trip. And we never did an intro. We never quite got that whole thing together. So this is a special to let you know, to hear from some of our students. And but before we get to that, I'll have questions. You can tee that up. But I do need to let you know of a couple things that are going on that are coming up. One of the big things that's happening soon that you can be thinking about and praying about is Mr. Gareth Reese's funeral, which we can call him Doctor because he was a Doctor Emeritus, or what do they call that when they... Honorary Doctor,
Yeah.
that's it. Mr. Reese's funeral is on the 19th, which is next Tuesday. Some people have been confused about it. It is going to be here at Timberlake Christian Church on the 19th. The visitation starts at 2 p.m. and it's going to go till 5, and then around 5:30 we'll start the service. So they left a buffer for time.
All the people that will still be there.
We're not sure, how many people are going to come through. So his funeral will be on that Tuesday, the 19th, here at the church, starting with a visitation at 2 p.m. Do you have a Reese memory? Like, when you think of Mr. Reese, what do you think of?
I never did very well in Reese classes.
No?
I took Hebrews and Acts, and he just would, all the stuff that, are you listening to me? And then he would have a coughing fit in class, and we would all sit there and be really worried for about 2 minutes.
Yeah, like he's gonna die right now.
Yeah. I remember feeling like I was studying so hard, and then every test I took, I would do worse and worse. And somehow I passed that whole class with a C. That was my worst grade in college. But I was just like, how do people get A's in this class? And Alec told me, he's like, you gotta do the memory work.
Yeah, it's all memory work.
It is the memory work. So
Yeah.
Alec got really great
I'm sure he
grades
nailed it
in Reese classes.
I always loved his expressions, and when he would try to, maybe you'll remember this, when he would explain what the Greek words, what the words were meaning, and the emotion behind them, he would try to then
Come up with a story to help you.
Well, not the story, but demonstrate the emotion with his face. He made up emojis for Greek words. So he'd be ah!
Yeah.
He would do those kind of things. I
forgot about that, yeah.
Where he'd make these noises, and then, he was trying to give an example of what the emotion behind this word was. And whenever he would answer questions, he would end it with you good? You got it?
Yeah.
And then for me, there was the famous example or story of his dentures falling out mid-class.
I don't think I heard that one.
You never heard that one?
I didn't hear that
He's
one.
teaching, and his dentures popped out and landed on the table in front of him. I kid you not. He just picked them up, popped them back in, kept on going like nothing ever happened.
That's so funny. We were warned ahead of time that he was going to talk about drowning cats.
Oh.
To talk about what immersion meant.
I don't remember.
You did?
No.
We were warned. We were like, when he talks about immersion, he's going to tell a story of drowning kittens on a farm.
Oh.
And then he did.
Did he do it?
He did
Oh,
do
okay.
it. And so, but we had been pre-warned. So.
I don't remember that. I just remember everybody talking about how hard the classes were and praying for Squiggles, if you remember that. And I took as many Reese classes as I could.
Yeah.
And
I think I ended up with more Pelfrey
did you?
than Reese.
Yeah.
But I don't think that was on. I mean, it wasn't on purpose. It was just.
No, and his classes were hard, but the thing that I loved the most about Reese was not the stuff that most people noticed, the accolades, the teaching, the writing, all of that was amazing. But I got the chance to take a class, and I think he only taught it one time that I know of. He might have taught it more, but it was an archaeology class. And it was the most relaxed I had ever seen him, and it was literally just for fun. He did the whole thing, I think, just for his entertainment. And he, at the end of that class, took the whole class, got on a bus. We all went down to Kansas City to the Steamboat of Arabia. Paid for everybody to do this because it was an archaeological excavation that they did there, and it was kind of the capstone of everything. I know Bill Stolt was on that trip because I've got a picture of Bill and Emily and me before I even came here, way back when. It was those moments of humility where he would take care of people and nobody knew about it. I mean, I'm sure we're going to hear lots of stories at the funeral of people that he paid for, people that he sponsored, people that he provided for that nobody knew, and that's what I always admire quite a bit. So, drowning cats.
Yep. You know, when you live on a farm and you got too many kittens, you put them in a bag and you put them all the way in the water, and it's just like, that's one way to do it. Yep.
Can you imagine the articles that would be written about him today if that were true? Wow.
I mean, he was from a different time.
A whole different era. No, absolutely. Well, if you want to, most of us around this area have been affected by Mr. Reese. If you want to honor him and be a part of that service, that's on the 19th. That's Tuesday, and visitation starts at 2, and we'll go all the way till and through 5 o'clock. But 5:30 is when the service starts. And the second thing we want to let you know about is the 24th is our church-wide celebration for paying off the debt. And if you haven't heard, I can't scream right now because my voice is gone. But
the debt is paid off.
That's perfect. The debt is paid off. We're super excited about it. And I think November was the final payment. You'd have to ask Brian about that, but I'm pretty sure that's accurate. Yeah. And so we're going to celebrate on the 24th. We're going to have stories. We're going to have music. We're going to have a big potluck. And we really want to encourage you to stay afterwards. And maybe you don't usually, but stay afterwards. We're going to have some fun together. We are going to provide meat and we're going to provide drinks. The church is going to take care of the meat and the drinks and just bring sides or desserts to share. And we're going to have a great time. So that happens on the 24th. And we're super excited about that. So be ready for that celebration. So that's not this Sunday, it's the following Sunday. Not this coming Sunday, but the next one. So there you go. There's 2 things you need to know about coming up. The funeral on the 19th and then the 24th celebration. Okay, Rachel, you took a trip with a group of kids. Where'd you go? Why'd you go there? How was it?
We went down to Joplin. To Ozark Christian College to go to the event, which is they do 2 events every fall. They do Getaway, which is for the middle schoolers. So we did that at the end of September. And then this one was the high school one, which is the first weekend of November. And it's called The Event. Just like the event is the event.
Very creative name.
Yes.
The Event.
It's very confusing, actually.
Yeah, it is.
When you're talking about it with people. But yeah, we took a group of 10 high schoolers. And their theme this year was Bear Fruit. Kind of a pun, you'd have to see it, but it was all from John 15, being connected to the vine. They did a fantastic job. Wonderful speakers. Their frontline does the worship for it. They did fantastic, and we were all exhausted, but some of the kids got sick. It's just that sickness that's going around, but we made it through. It was just a one-night thing, but we did have a really good time together, and That's where I taught them Green Glass Door.
Ooh.
And then we taught the middle schoolers.
Is that why? Okay.
So we taught the high schoolers, and we came back and taught the middle schoolers, and now that's all they want to talk about.
So
I genuinely did
were
not.
you in service?
I was.
Okay.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
And she stood up and said, I know the answer to the riddle of the green glass door. And she told me she was going to do it.
Yep. She told me that.
This is
she
one of the
told you that she was
Hemschmeyers.
going to do it.
And I told her, I said, listen, that's fine, but I don't know how to respond to that if I'm on the stage. Like, sure, I don't. If you want to stand up, that's cool. And I just kept going. I just let it anyway. And then I wasn't sure how to. But now, okay, that all makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Well, Jessica Sevitz texted me later that day. She said, I'm taking this is what I'm taking through the Green Glass Door, but not this. And I just laughed because I was like, I taught a Sunday school lesson. We had a lesson.
We had something other than just this.
Just this, yeah.
If you know, comment below if you know the answer to the riddle of the Green Glass Door, and if you know the answer to that, then
Don't
comment
Google it.
what
That's
you're going
cheating.
comment what you're going to be taking with you, and we'll let you know if you're right or not. But that is kind of fun. Before we get to the interview, so you're going to ask questions to these students.
Yeah, so I'll ask. So in the video, granted this was days ago, but I think I asked them, what was your big takeaway? Like, what's your takeaway from this event? Why do you think that these types of events are important? And just share something funny that happened.
Share something funny.
So
did you answer the questions in the video?
I did not, but
I'm curious. I growing up, if you grew up in the church, most likely you took some sort of trip, whether it was service or going somewhere. Not everyone, like I didn't grow up going to colleges like we have here, where colleges put on events for students. Why do you think those are still valuable for students to go on? Because it's a lot of work. It's time away from your family. You're asking volunteers to take time away from their, like, why do you think it's still valuable?
Well, I mean, partially it's a lot of things. So personally, I think that students tend to listen when other people say things, like other than their parents or you, like me as a leader.
You could be saying the same stuff.
I could say the same thing, but I recognize my own weaknesses in that I'm not as gifted of a speaker, and kids listen when it's somebody else, and you know, you hate that that's just the reality, but that's how it is. So when somebody else is saying it, they're saying it in a just a wonderfully creative way, helping kids see things in new perspectives. I think that that's really important. Also, just that actual long amount of time that you're spending with students is incredibly important. Like, we get your kids for maybe 3 hours a week, maybe. And, you know, it's like a chunk of it is here and a chunk of it is here, and that chunk is broken up by lots of other different chunks.
Yep.
So
actually time with them is
that
not
long intentional time where we're laughing, we're playing these silly games like Green Glass Door, and
you're eating, you're
eating,
getting frustrated.
Exactly.
All that.
Yeah, you're dealing with the frustrations with each other or the exhaustion. You're just doing that together. You grow as a group. You grow as individuals. You make those memories that you're going to talk about for the next 4 years. I think that's all incredibly valuable. And I would hate to see the money factor keep any kid from doing it. So, like, if money was ever a factor to keep you from sending your kid on these trips, like, just have a conversation with us. We would love to make it so that your kid could still attend, even if money is a barrier.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, because we try to make it reasonably affordable for everyone. So,
yeah, that's great. Well, I'm excited to see and to hear this interview that you had with students. This was Wednesday night last week, and I hope that you not only hear the heart behind these students and the joy that they have, laugh at them a little bit, but also it sparks your mind to pray for student ministry here and the goal that they have to help students become more and more like Jesus. And that's all our goal in general. So watch this interview and be mindful and praying for the student ministry. We hope you enjoy it.
I'm recording. All right. Hello everyone, my name is Rachel Bussin. I am the student minister here at Timberlake Christian Church, and joining me are a couple students who I will let introduce themselves here in just a minute. I just wanted to take a minute to talk with them about an event that we just got back from. They were gracious enough to unknowingly say yes to being on the church podcast this week. So they misunderstood what I was asking them to do, so here they are. Why don't you guys go ahead and tell me your names and your grades, which I don't know, of course. So
I'm Jacob Wright. I am 16 and I'm a sophomore.
I'm Hannah Wright, and I am 14, and I'm a freshman in high school.
All right. So why don't you guys just tell me one takeaway that you got from the event? And by the event, I mean the event is literally called The Event down in Joplin at Ozark Christian College. We just got back from there. So why don't you guys give us the theme and what your takeaway was?
The theme was bear fruit, and one of my takeaways was how the connection between like Jesus and you, the vine, and the branch is like a wireless phone, and instead of like a older phone where it's got the wires on it.
And why is that important?
Because a lot of people think like you've got to be like directly connected, I think, and it kind of helped me realize that you don't have to be directly connected to Jesus to be connected with him.
So you don't have to physically see him.
Yeah.
For him to still be connected. Yeah. Hannah?
I think my biggest takeaway was how he was talking about how we should do things through God and not do it ourselves, because it can get like stressful if we try to do everything ourselves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's a good message for all people, but maybe especially for teenagers to hear that you don't have to do everything. All right, why don't you guys share a funny story from the trip, something that you found amusing?
My funny story is when Noah decided that he wanted to sleep, and so I was sitting right next to him, and he was snoring real loud, and it was really funny. We got a few photos of it.
Yep. Noah did sleep a lot that trip.
I thought it was really funny playing all the games we played. We played like the green glass door game and what was it? The
what
umbrella.
fits under your umbrella?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those were really funny.
Yep.
They weren't funny when you didn't know what it was, but they were funny when you found out.
When you figured it out. When you're on the inside, it's fun.
Yeah.
All right, last question. Why do you think trips like the event are beneficial for kids like you who are going to church, or maybe you don't go to church, but like how can these events encourage students in their walk with Jesus?
I feel that it can help you connect with the other kids in your group, or it can help you connect with other Christians outside of your church, and can help you make friends, and it can give you a different experience, maybe a person that speaks a little better to you rather than the same person every Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that helps a lot.
He's talking about me. I'm kidding.
I think it's good to go on these type of trips because I don't know how to like put it into like words, but like I feel like it's good because you hear from different people, and not that they don't. It's not that they like believe something different. It's that they have like a different perspective, and I feel like it's good to open up to different perspectives, and it's just like a great opportunity to like grow your faith.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you. That is all for this segment of the Ripple Effect podcast this week.
I hope that you enjoyed that interview, and I hope that it at least reminds you to continue to pray for and support the student ministry. We want to say thank you so much for joining us here on the Ripple Effect podcast. Rachel, thank you for joining me in the studio, and the new improved. It's going to get even better. We got lots of plans for the studio, wall-to-wall redecorations in here. I'm just kidding.
I'm sure Mary would love that.
That'd be great. But anyway, thank you so much for listening this week, and we pray that God will be with you, and God will continue to bless you this week, and we will see you right here next week on the Ripple Effect podcast.